Gematsu, as it does, has released another article about some more Dragon Quest Monsters information for the new game. And this one probably has the most information to unpack to date, so let's get right in. Welcome everybody, I'm Defeater of Souls, and if you're interested in Dragon Quest Monsters content, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Alright, so right away, the first thing you get when you take a look is this picture that we're going to skip past and go ahead and start looking at words. We learn about the Archeagles, who apparently protected the kingdom of Witherworld to make the land lush and fertile until they left and evil stuff started happening. The Archeagles, to my knowledge, are an original creation to this game. I do not remember them in Dragon Quest V, and I do not remember them appearing in any Dragon Quest Monsters game. Now, to be fair, there have been magical birds in Dragon Quest games. You have Ramia, and you have Imperia, but Archeagles? Are they Archeagles? I don't think so. Moving right along, we learn about meteorocytes, which are these crystals that absorb life and energy, and they're these dark, evil, whatnot. Very similar, I think, or at least I make the connection to Darkonium from the Joker sub-series of Dragon Quest Monsters games. Obviously a bit more directly evil, since it doesn't require any latent power to draw out their nonsense, but basically these guys are the ones that are stealing all the life away from the kingdom of Deadtree. Yes, I know it's called Witherwood, I'm going to call it Deadtree, though. Get used to it. Anyway, that little lore implications aside, we actually get introduced to some new characters. And the first one's probably the most important. Say hello to Thespidor, who may or may not be the main antagonist. He is the showrunner of the Darkness Below. He is the elusive misdirector of the Tragedian players. And he is the one who is creating meteorocyte crystals. Now, there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, what does that mean? Misdirector of the Tragedian players. Are the Tragedian players some evil group that he's running? Is this some kind of insult to the characters? Because he's the one misdirecting them with his meteorocytes to distract them from his grand plan? I don't know. It's an interesting idea. Showrunner of the Darkness Below? What is the Darkness Below? And why is he running? It definitely seems like he's not going to be an ally, but, you know, a lot of interesting stuff. And Thespidor, based off of Thespian and all that other fun stuff. Like, yeah, definitely seems like this guy's going to be a bit more on the dramatic side. Appearance-wise, I'm not sure what to make of it. He's kind of dressed similar to Dual Magus, just a little more on the monster side and a little less on the demon clown. So, you know, I guess I kind of just need to see him in action before I can say anything too much. But, you know, it's interesting. Glad we get to see, you know, a face and maybe get a little more evil. Evil's good. We get introduced to more people. We get to see the King of Witherwood, or the King of Deadtree, that being King Withers. As I previously mentioned in a different video, he still has a very similar appearance, albeit a lot younger looking than his appearance in Terry's Wonderland on the 3DS. So that's cool. Good to see him. Next character we're introduced to is Ed, who is the living legend of the monster wrangling world. This guy's traveling around with Scruffy, and just based off the little description and screenshots we see, he is immediately giving off the vibes of Prince Kameha from Dragon Quest Monsters 2. Like, this dude seems like the type of guy who thinks highly of himself and only really gets in trouble. And of course that's extra supported by the fact that he's got Scruffy along with him. Yeah, Waraboo! Good for him. Glad to see him back. It's our first formal introduction to him and his voice actors. So yeah, that's cool. Glad he's here. Along with this, we actually get the official translated name, or the English name, the modern name, for the Kingdom of Greatlog. It's called Pays de l'Océan. It's French, and it roughly translates to Land of Money or Land of Sorrow. I don't know why they chose that. I don't know if that's permanent or not, but it's definitely doesn't have the same ring to it as Greatlog does. And we still haven't heard what Great Tree's going to be called. But yeah, Witherwood is Deadtree, and Greatlog is Pays de l'Océan. It's French. Anyway, moving along, we get introduced to a couple of the regions that you have access to in the game. So the first one is the world of Sog Swamp. Sog Swamp, it's the swampy, kind of rainy area. Next area we get is this ice tower sort of thing. It's kind of similar, in my opinion, to the ice tower that is accessible in Dragon Quest Monsters 2 after you beat the ice world area. So, you know, that's something. Next area we get introduced to is the Taiboku area, which is an area that seems to be based off of Eastern Asia, with its rice fields and bamboo and that sort of stuff. We also get introduced just briefly to the local landmark called the Memory Hall. It's got traps, tricks, just sort of seems like a fun little dungeon area. Finally, we get introduced to the Lush Land, which is this area with all these giant vegetables, which is cool. So, based off of that, it kind of seems like that procedural generation will not be as likely as previously thought. So, it's not going to be like Dragon Quest Monsters, the original, where it was completely randomized. But, there's still a chance. There's still definitely comparisons that could be made that I'm just not going to. But, still, cool. Extra information we get here is the fact that high-powered enemies are going to be wandering around. I love when games do this because it makes worlds feel more alive. So you'll be able to see these guys and they'll kind of look, extra evil and dangerous. Just does a great job of making you, want to come back to these areas to see how well you're doing against these strong monsters. So, that's cool. Moving on to the next big thing that this article announces, the Water Wing Can. Which is a very clever name, if, they do it right. Anyway, the Water Wing Can is supposed to be used to restore roots of creation. And these roots of creation are meant to act as little outposts that you can zoom to, you can synthesize at, and you can heal your party at. Interesting. A fun little thing I actually realized is that the Water Wing Can used in this game may actually be a reference to Dragon Quest V, where there is an item called the Aspersorium that you get in the final dungeon in order to douse the flames blocking the staircase to the final boss. So, whether or not that's intentional or will be explored more, I don't know, but, it is a connection. Moving along, we get to see that faux monster tamers are back, and this is something I love, because you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we've seen these guys since Joker 1, because in the future games, Joker 2, Joker 3, Dark Prince, the kind of stories that don't tribute too well to having random monster trainers wandering around in this world. And yet they perfectly do it, and they're bringing it back. They're bringing it back. Although, I guess to be fair, the remakes of the original games had them. But yeah, no, they're back. That's awesome. I love that. It means you're able to fight monsters that other people have. Maybe there's special stuff. I don't know. That's really cool. I'm glad it's back. We also get more information of things you can water with your Water Wing Can, such as the parched life buds. They kind of seem similar to mini metals, where you water them to get collectible, like maybe a checklist sort of thing, that gives you benefits, such as improved synthesis odds. Another thing you can water are the suspicious-looking bushes, where if you water them, you can get monsters, items, or maybe even like unique rare monsters, which is really cool. Interesting idea. Interested to see how that plays out. So, that's pretty much everything that the article goes over, and there's certainly a lot here. The connection it's going to have with both Dragon Quest V and the original Dragon Quest Monsters game still remains to be seen, but there's definitely a lot of interesting things here. But it does leave a lot of questions to be asked, mostly about Thespidor. A lot of things you're wondering about this guy and his role in the story besides, creating meteorocytes. So that's pretty much all I have. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in more Dragon Quest Monsters content, feel free to subscribe to my channel. If you're interested in seeing more about all the other information that's been released concerning Dragon Quest Monsters, The Withered World, I have a few videos going over quite a few information, and of course you can always check out the article that I refer to down in the description. That's all I have to say for now, so thank you all for watching, and this has been Defeater of Souls.